Welcome in, Yankees family. I'm your guy Gio, joined every week with my co-host Tyler. How you doing today, bro?
Not bad, not bad. How you doing?
I'm good. We're recording this a little later than we usually do, and we do have some good news. The Yankees win the first game of the series against Detroit 4-1. So we starting off good. We're recording this as of August 28th. Let's take care of some homework. If this is the first time on the channel, first time watching the show, leave a like, a comment, and don't leave without subscribing. If you like Yankees content, we now have the roll call and Pinstripe Extra Innings, which is a recap show. So a lot more coming down the pipe, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content.
Yeah, we'd like to see more of you showing up. So yeah, hit that little bell
Ding
and
ding
don't
ding ding ding.
miss. Yeah.
So the Yankees week was better than last week. There's progression. We were 7-0 last week, or 0-7, should I say? That made it sound like we did good. We were
Wow.
0-7, winless last week. When last time we talked, we actually won 2 games this week. Fucking shame.
I told you I'd break the curse that night.
Yeah, that day you went. Judge went 3 home runs, right?
Yes,
That was the game you was at.
I was jumping up and down like a little girl, but if they were a good team, I would have been even more excited.
So everyone in the comments, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe so we can make sure Tyler goes to every other game, every home game for the rest of the season. We're gonna crowdsource that to keep the streak alive. Maybe we can have a 2002 Rays running us.
Ooh.
Doubtful, but
You are fake news.
but you never know.
The people I went with did not know a single thing about baseball. The only reason I went was because I got the tickets for free. But I
If
was
it's free, it's
explaining.
for me.
I know, but I was explaining what strikes and balls were,
Oh
literally
no.
the most basic stuff.
See, and that's a good point, right? Because this is why Yankee fans saying, "Oh, we shouldn't go to the games no more. We should boycott." This is exactly why we can't do that, because you have people that just go because it's a tourist attraction, right?
Mm.
I've never been to New York, or I've never been to Yankee Stadium. I want to go. It's a thing, and then you have people that never go to games, just like your situation. Spend good amount of money on Yankee tickets, and the stadium would never be fully empty because of that fact.
And my second cousin works for Bank of America, so they give away some tickets each year. So
BFA, that's my bank. So what up? What up?
BOFA.
Bofa, there you go. Yeah, my fiance's been she's a Chase girl, so she's been trying to get me to convert to Chase, but I'm like, these business accounts is nice in Bank of America because they don't require you to have like 50,000 or $100,000, rolling
Yeah,
in order to avoid fees. So
I gotta like spend like 300 a month or something like that.
to avoid the fees.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the meat of the show, which is some hot topics. I got a stat for you, Tyler, and a little game. I want to know if you can name the best team. So the stat is the Yankees are 17-32 since July 21st. That is 28th in all of major leagues. First part of the game, who are the 2 worst teams in that span?
Since what was it
July
now?
1st. No
Okay.
cheating, no Google.
Oh yeah, I just looked at the thing. Sorry, I didn't realize you wrote it there. I was going to look at what the date was. So let me. White Sox and A's.
All right, you cheater. Okay,
Well,
now
I didn't
here's
realize it was on the.
yeah, that's probably my fault. I should have took it off. That was for me to make sure I didn't forget the answer. Now, the second part of the question, who is the best team in that span? I'll give you a hint. They're on the West Coast.
Mariners.
Yes. They are, damn, I had it too. I think they are like 36-18, something like that.
Yeah, we gotta do the Sporkle quiz or like some sort of like trivia or something on here. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we could start because this season is getting very bleak. And it's getting harder and harder to find topics to talk about that is not so negative. Because as much as I want to bash and rant and yell about this team, it does get a little tiring to just like negative Nancy the whole time. So we are, we'll think of ways to make this a little bit more entertaining, more fun for everybody. But since I said that, let's get into the nitty gritty of all the bad shit. Shall
Yeah,
we?
yeah. We do have a couple of positives to talk about today,
There is,
but
there is, there is. You want to start with the bullpen issues? What is your thoughts about the Yankees bullpen since the All Star break?
yeah. So they must have been overworked or something because Holmes stinks,
Mm-hmm.
Peralta stinks, Canely stinks, and Abreu is just being himself. So he stinks too.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, I would hold on to Loizaga and Ian Hamilton, um, and Michael King, but he was kind of in the air right now.
Mm.
He's getting a couple of starts, but those two or three guys, the rest of the guys can either get traded, let go, and then you can either bargain hunt for some guys to go hunt to or call people up. But some of these guys still have some value and can be traded, and there's no reason for them not to. They should have been traded in July
Yeah.
because you don't need a closer when you're in last place.
Like I'm torn because they were really really good to start the season, and I'm not necessarily sure if they were overworked. Just because I just had a feeling that this bullpen is not as good as it looked. Um, they bargain bin in every area of this team. Besides the big names that sell the tickets, right? The John Carlos, the Carlos Rodons, the Garrett Coles, the Aaron Judges. But every other area of this team, Brian Cashman seems like he wants to bargain bin. And that's going to hurt you in the bullpen. Albert Abreu is not that great. They there's no options for him if they I guess they fear that if they DFA him or they try to demote him, he will get snatched up by another team. Wandy Peralta, I never thought he was that good, but he has like a clutch gene in him that when the situation is tough, he gets big. Like who would have thought Ian Hamilton would be good? Who would have thought Clay Holmes would be decent? I thought we overpaid for Tommy Kahnle. I just thought he was a personality guy to help gel some of the people together. So I just never thought it was really that good. Am I surprised that they're as bad as they're performing as bad as they are right now? Yes. But I think just the whole team in general, they're just so down and they're so used to losing. Um, blowing leads is not even a big thing for them anymore.
Mhm. So let's go back to the beginning of roster construction.
Mm,
The reason why he's trying to bargain bin everywhere is because five guys are making a combined like 200 mil. And he's like, oh crap, we still got roster spots to fill out. And then he's like, I can't spend any more. So he's trying to piecemeal it together. So if we start with developing prospects for cheap, and then you have a little bit of extra money to fill out the rest of the roster,
yeah.
then you can not have to go bargain shopping. However, I don't think you should pay relievers any more than 3 or 4 mil per year because there's always a guy to replace them who can throw 102. And see what happens when you sign a guy like Britton, Chapman,
Ottavino.
Kimbrel, whatever. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, and I feel like Tommy Kahnle is gonna fall into that mode eventually. But speaking about the rotation, bullpen. Michael King wants to join the rotation. It's interesting. He came up as a starter. He had a 1.65 ERA in the minors. came up immediately in the bullpen, shows found some success in the bullpen. I'm indifferent whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. I honestly think Michael King is better suited as a high leverage guy, eighth inning, potentially a ninth inning. If you like, if it's a tie game, instead of using your closer, going to Michael King for an inning or two. What are your thoughts about Michael King potentially joining the rotation?
I I completely understand from his perspective. Starters get paid
The
a
most.
lot more, so I totally understand wanting to do that. And if he's done that most of his career before really got that role in the bullpen, then that makes sense. Um, However, his first start was against the Marlins here. 41 pitches, 2 innings, 2 runs. Next one against Atlanta, 44 pitches, 3.2, 0 runs.
Mm,
That's really good. But then Boston, 4 outs he got, 28 pitches, and 3 runs. Not sure if that one was a start or not, but um, yeah. But he's got to stretch it out a little bit more, do some innings, and really throw more than just a sinker and curveball. You probably need a third pitch, which I think is a decent changeup. I think.
mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but um, you know, we had a lot of question marks going on. Right now, the Yankees, looking at the road, at least we got Severino's pitch decent. Rodon coming around, so we might kind of just lose that spot by default soon, and he probably does fit that role as a uh, like a long reliever or high leverage reliever a little bit better.
Yeah,
So
I prefer
kind of
him in that role. There's no need for him to join the rotation. Yeah, he becomes a free agent, gets more money, but it doesn't really help the team. Talking about the rotation, two very good, two very good starts back to back for Carlos Rodon. Washington Nationals, the defense saved him, but your defense is supposed to do that. So I don't want to make it sound like a bad knock against Rodon. Your defense is supposed to pick you up. And then he pitched really, really well against the Rays yesterday. I feel like he deserved to finish the fifth to potentially get the W. The Aaron Boone is just a fucking idiot for taking him out. But he had a rough first inning. His defense didn't help him out. Rosarina singles. He's still second. Higgy throws it to center, moves to third. Harrison Bader errant throw to third base to score Rosarina at home, and then immediately he gives up the home run to Brandon Lowe, I believe, or Lau. I fucking hate their names. So I don't remember which one is Lowe or Lau.
I think he's Lau.
He's Lau. Okay.
I
Uh,
think so.
yeah, so Brandon Lau immediately hits a home run. Probably a frustration pitch. Him being frustrated with his defense, he just threw a get me over fastball, and he got crushed. But since then, he looked like Carlos Rodon. He was pitching on the corners 98, 97. That slider was nasty. It's good signs that back to back starts. He looked good. Probably starting to build his confidence up, looking like the guy we signed. What you think? What was your thoughts about Rodon's back-to-back starts?
Yeah, that first inning was a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Higashioka cannot throw second base for his life.
No.
Every single time he's here and he's just
Mm-hmm.
chucking it into center field too many times. Um, Whatever, I guess. But I just wanted to wrap up a thought about Michael King before we get into this one.
Okay.
Right now, he really slots into that fifth spot,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like that if he's trying to go for a starter, but then they're still going to piggyback Brito or Vasquez after him. Either pick Vasquez or King, or just call somebody else up. I'm fine with him kind of getting these starts until either Nestor comes back healthy or they call somebody up. But once they have another starter ready, he take him out of that role. But anyways, talking about Rodon, I loved what he saw after that first inning.
Yeah.
I think he put down like 10 or 11 in a row or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Sliders started sliding, fastball started popping, and I love Rodon, and I know he's going to be good. So I'm not too concerned. I'd rather him um, iron out the wrinkles right now rather than like the beginning of next year, and we'll see where it takes.
Yeah, it's the burden of the big contract, burden of the Yankees and the lore and him wanting to come here and wanting to do well. I'm pretty sure when he first came back, he probably wasn't fully 100%. He was probably like 90% ready and, compensating a little bit or trying to do a little bit too much. Those, 15 days kind of reset him a little bit and probably gave him an opportunity to fully
Yeah,
get himself back into the shape he needed to. And you know what? Like you said, I think this is a good time for him to work out all the kinks, so he can end it strong, end the season with confidence, and kind of knowing that he can do it in New York. So that the next year it could just be a regular season for him. There's no adjustment, getting used to new teams, new teammates, personnel, all that stuff. So now he's a year under his belt. It wasn't the year he wanted, but he finished strong, and he could come out the second year, his sophomore year as a Yankee, and just really shove. And hopefully, we can have two back-to-back Cy Youngs, Garrett Cole for 2023, Carlos Rodon 2024. I am going to have my bold prediction that he will win the Cy Young next year, back-to-back Yankees in the AL.
that's that's good. I predicted him this year before he got injured, right
Yeah,
at the end of
I,
the
I would
year.
have
But
with the way that he ended last season. That was a safe bet.
yeah, that's my guy. I don't appreciate people calling him the next Yankees bust. He didn't
Yeah, they were
get a.
calling him Carl Pavano for a minute.
I I I'll tell you something later about Carl
Oh
Pavano.
shit. Okay. Sevi, same thing. Since we finished the game today, we normally record this in the morning. So if anyone is wondering why we said that in the beginning, we're recording it at night for scheduling purposes. And we were able to see today's game, and Sevi had a great game. Today he pitched into the seventh or the
He
sixth. I
went
think he
full
finished the
seven.
sixth. He went full seven.
I think so. I
Yeah,
saw him pitching the seventh.
yeah, I saw him pitch into the seventh. I think he finished the seventh. Sorry, I should have checked that before I said it. But he pitched into the seventh. Um, only he gave up no runs. Looked very sharp. He looked like Sevi. His defense helped him out a little bit. There was a play to Volpe, and Higgy helped him out, digged it out the dirt, tagged I forgot his name at
Yeah.
home. So that's definitely saved the run.
Well, that guy shouldn't
IKF.
have even been on third base because
Yeah.
IKF shouldn't be in center field. But
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. His defense didn't help him with IKF, but it was good too. Back to back, really good starts for Sevi. Um, I don't want to see him back. I wish him success while he's here. He can work it out, get a good contract. I always liked Sevi. I always liked him and Domingo Herman. At least before all the domestic violence stuff, I always thought Domingo Herman was a good pitcher. Thought him and Sevi were really good, a potential 1 and 2. When Herman had his breakout season, Sevi was hurt. So I thought that season, okay, when Sevi comes back, we're gonna have a really good dynamic 1-2. Sad to see both of them traject the way that they did, but it is what it is, and hopefully, Sevi has a good career after he leaves New York.
Yeah, I mean, Sevy's one of my favorite players. Watched him grow up and develop as a pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
but even after these two good starts, the Yankees have a ton pitching depth in the minors.
Yeah.
Names like Thorpe, Hampton, Warren, Fitz. There's 5 guys, even including Vasquez, maybe Luis Heel. You got a lot of pitchers, and there's no reason to kind of like overpay him.
Yeah.
He's had a really rough year. I love seeing him pitch well. And I wish him the best wherever he goes, but hopefully it's not the Yankees. He he's a guy who'll like go to the Mets. I could actually see him on the Mets.
I know it's two places he's gonna end up. He's gonna end up in as a White Sox,
I thought they were gonna say Tampa.
or he's gonna be in Texas. He'll be a Ranger.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
Interesting. They have
They
a
they
million.
they need pitching. They don't know what they're gonna get out of DeGrom. He's supposed to come back I think the end of next season. And then you don't know what you're gonna get out of Scherzer.
I see the Rangers being very aggressive on one Shohei Ohtani.
That would be interesting because I think the Rangers would let him do whatever he wants. I just don't know if he'll go to Texas because I honestly think he's gonna stay on the West Coast and he really likes Seattle and he really likes LA.
Hmm.
So I really honestly think it's either going to be the Dodgers or the Mariners or the Mets are just going to do something really dumb and offer him like $700 million over like 18 seasons, like something ridiculous where they know that the last like 5 seasons they're going to eat money, but they don't even care.
Hmm. Yeah, the Rangers IL DeGrom, Evaldi, Oda. That's a almost decent 1, 2, 3 right there.
That's if they're all healthy and they can play and they can give you 30 starts each. That's probably one of the best 1, 2, 3s.
Yeah, and they got Scherzer. Montgomery's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
They got John Gray, Heaney, Dane Dunning.
Yeah, so I
They
can
got
see Sevy going to Texas or going to the White Sox. The White Sox out with a Giolito. Um, they need pitching. They have none right now.
yeah, like a 1 year deal that make a ton
Mm-hmm.
of sense. Make a ton of sense, just
Yeah.
like a bounce back.
Um. So to let's get into this. This is really the meat of the show. There's reports today from Andy Marino that according to his sources that are high up and well knowledgeable within the Yankees organization, that Brian Cashman does not see a need to pivot from Aaron fucking Boone. I'm gonna save my thoughts till after. I'm gonna let Tyler drive real quick while I gather my thoughts.
You know, the first thing he's going to say, we could not have predicted all these injuries, and we expected Rizzo and Stanton and LeMahieu to all play like they did in 2022 or 2021, and Donaldson, we expected to bounce back, and he just didn't do that. We expected the prospects to click right away, and it wasn't Boone's fault. He did exactly what we told him to do. We're happy with him. He's our little puppet. Um, you know, I I don't really care about him as much as most people do. They're gonna need a scapegoat. I find it unlikely that they don't fire him, but that's a Cashman thing to do to hold on to him.
Now, I understand that there are not many options out there to replace Aaron Boone this season. But what the fuck is Brian Cashman thinking? Like this is the definition of fucking insanity. And I honestly, now I'm 100% certain that this man is doing everything he fucking can to like make the Yankees like one of the worst teams in the AL. He's like just tarnishing everything about the team. The only thing I can think of is that all right, they're gonna do a complete teardown, and they don't want a new manager to be here. What to get through this time? They want someone that's been here. Maybe they like Sean Casey, and they know if they get rid of him, they're gonna get rid of Sean Casey and some other of the coaching staff. So maybe like, all right, we're gonna try to get rid of Stanton, DJ, Rizzo. We're gonna go with the youth movement. We're gonna go with the younger kids, and we just don't want another rookie manager to come in during this transition. Maybe they do one more season with Boone, and when his contract expires, they say, "Fuck you, get the door. Here's the door." After these kids get a little bit of time in the majors, but I if Aaron Boone is honestly back and this team does not have major changes to this roster, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I can't go through another season of this. I honestly feel like this team's going to be just as bad, if not worse, next year with Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone as the leaders of this team.
Yeah, Brian and Boone is like Beavis and Butthead right there.
It's true.
Hmm. Yeah, that's tough. I don't have much to say about that.
Yeah, I really hope he's the only one reporting it. So hopefully this is one of those situations where sources are either not misinformed, but since Brian Cashman keeps everything so close to the chest with a lot of this stuff, that maybe that's the talk now because Cashman doesn't want to give away that he's moving away from Aaron Boone. He's just letting people know, like, yeah, don't worry, we'll figure that out. Or he'll probably be back. Maybe he's just like downplaying. I don't know. I'm just hoping that it's one of those Brian Cashman ploys where he's misleading us in a way so that when we do get the news that he's fired, it's more of a rejoice than come on, we knew that you should have. That's an easy move instead of it being bashed. Maybe he's trying to use it as a little marketing ploy that people think he's gonna stay, and then they surprise us and he gets fired, and everyone's chanting Cashman's name, which that would never happen, at least out of my mouth. But
Yeah, I'm gonna stop trying to like read between the lines and like trying to figure out what they're doing or not gonna do. I'm gonna assume that they're gonna not do anything because that I always assume they're gonna do something big and nothing ever happens. So I'm just gonna assume they're not doing anything and not read too much into anything and just see what happens. It's,
maybe I should live my life like that. We're at the around the half an hour mark, so let's move on to the next topic. Brian Cashman's press conference. It happened a couple days after our last episode, so we never got a chance to address it. Really quickly, I just feel like it's a another one of those Captain Obvious press conferences. This is a disaster, blah blah blah. Like, there's no way that you could sugarcoat this season, Brian. So like I feel like you insulted us more than you gave us insight of what was going to happen. I would have respected him more if he came out and said, there will be adjustments and major changes this offseason. I don't know what they are yet, even though he probably knows, but you can't tell us. But I don't know what they are yet. But we will work to shake up this team. That's what I would have respected out of you. That or Hal Steinbrenner talking and him saying that this was a disaster and this was a shit show, and he would be. What did Brian Cashman say? He would be looking at evaluating everyone's performance this season. If he said those words, then I would be more inclined to say, okay, I felt better about this. But fucking Cashman saying it, it's just bullshit.
yeah, I think a 3-year-old may make a better GM than him.
My dog that's no longer with us was smarter than him, and she was fucking dumb. Yeah, she was a dumb dog. You know what they say: if a dog chases its tail, it's dumb. She used to chase her tail all day,
Damn.
and she used to catch it. That's the other crazy shit.
Wow. Wow.
So let's move on to La Machine, DJ LeMahieu. Red hot since the All Star break. Is this a Sean Casey effect?
I They say that on the broadcast. You can never tell how much is a person, how much is a coach, but you know, I'll take a positive.
Yeah, I think Casey needs a win. Volpe is playing better. DJ's playing better. IKF, he was before the All Star break. He was kind of hot. He's cooled down. Um, I'm trying to think of anyone else that's shown like signs of Higgy's gotten hot a little bit with a little bit more power. But it's nothing too crazy. There's a few guys that are playing better, but I honestly think that's more them than Casey. I just like the fact that since Sean Casey has come on board, these guys are taking more pitches. They are walking more. There's more traffic. The only thing is this team is just lacks contact. So that's why they're not scoring runs, but they are getting on base and they are walking, and there is traffic on the base paths. So he is affecting them positively. I just think he doesn't have the right players to effectively utilize his philosophies.
My big issue, as we've talked about before, is the Detroit starter tonight
Hmm.
had like a 6 ERA, but he has a big bender as a right-handed pitcher. And looking at the Yankees roster, every single starter in the lineup is a righty.
That can't hit sliders. Any off speed.
And Sean Casey, lefty bat. Get him a couple of lefties to tutelage. Maybe it'll rub off.
I forgot who brought this up today. I was watching it earlier today. This is why I like doing our show early, because then I don't get influenced by all the Yankee shows that I watch throughout the day. But I forgot who said it. If anyone knows in the comments, let me know. I like to give people credit to make it seem like I didn't come up with this myself. They said like Didi Gregorius should come as either a hitting instructor or a special advisor to help out some of our lefties, because he wasn't a power hitter, but he learned how to hit in Yankee Stadium.
Eh,
And
pull the
Didi
ball in the
had
air.
some very big hits for us. He had power.
I don't care about big hits. I care about the at bats, like the average at bat, the outcome. All he did was just roll the ball over to second base.
That was towards the end. Didi's career as a Yankee was actually pretty good. Stats as Yankee.
Let's see. All right, big guy. Okay, I'll give you 2018.
Yeah,
I'll give you
he as a Yankee. Don't you have to take away 2015, because that was his transition year. He was struggling with the whole idea of becoming the new Yankees shortstop.
2018.
But 16, 276, 750 OPS, OPS plus a 97, 20 home runs, lots of doubles. 2017, 287, 796 OPS, 106 OPS plus. He had 25 home runs, more tons of doubles. He was a double machine up that right field gap, pounding it. Then you see the 2018, all the power, high OPS plus, and then he regressed a little bit. In 2019, got a little older. Ever since Tommy John fucked him up.
Yeah.
It sapped his power a little bit, because his lead hand was his throwing hand. So that kind of sapped a
Yeah.
little bit of his power. So and he never really revamped his career. But just the idea of him learning, because if you look at any other year when he as he became a Yankee, 9 home runs, 6 home runs, 7 home runs, no home runs. He came to Yankee Stadium and out of nowhere became a home run machine, and that was because he learned how to hit in Yankee Stadium. He learned how to pull the ball. So that concept of just teaching lefties how to hit in New York, just in the stadium, the Bowers, the whoever you decide to keep out of this crop of mischiefs, the Billy McKinneys, the Bowers, the who else is still with us as a lefty? I think that's really it. The Oswaldo Cabreras, the little group of guys, you're gonna keep one of them as a bench piece. So that and whoever you bring in, whether that's Bellinger, Juan Soto apparently is going to be available this offseason. It's hearsay, but we can only wish for the best. So there's options, and I thought it was a great point. Like he can be a great instructor. to help with Sean Casey helping these lefties.
Anything could help, probably. So we'll see.
You want to get on to the next topic, Peraz and Pereira?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the baseballs are juiced in AAA, but all these guys raking in AAA, and then they get called up and they can't hit. Now, I don't know if they're just a little bit nervous or something, but they don't look like they drive the ball. They don't look nearly as competent as you would expect. Maybe they're just getting their footing, but I mean, 3 hits and 22 at bats, not the worst thing we've seen this year. He plays decent defense, but I mean, last episode we were talking about wanting the guys to get called up. They got called up that afternoon. Um, but I'd just like to see him hit a little bit more. And I mean, I think Pereira's played every game,
Yes.
but they Peraza did not play tonight. But
Yeah,
he,
Peraz is probably having the worst of it out of both of them, Pereira and Peraza. I honestly think maybe this season for Peraza might be a wash, that he needs to just take the off season, clear his head, continue to work on his game, maybe go to like Venezuela or something like that, play some summer ball where he can bring back his confidence. I think the up and down, losing his job to Volpe kind of got to him a little bit. I think Pereira has had better at bats because he's had some big hits in certain situations. He's got a couple RBIs, a couple big hits.
he
He
just
just
can't
can't
lay
hit
off
the
the
off speed.
slider.
Yeah, he can't hit the
Yeah,
off, and that's gonna take time because you know what? Just to talk to you, your point of AAA, all the best pitching is in AA in the minor leagues. All of the best pitching, AAA arms are usually either older journeymen or the guys that are that in between, the shuttle guys, the guys that will make a
mhm,
spot start, back of the end bullpen pieces, cleanup guys, are
mm,
usually in AAA. So the best talent is not there. So they're plus that railroaded team. Shelly Duncan is a great manager. They're very hot. That would be my pick to replace Aaron Boone. If they didn't want to go with anyone else, I'll just promote Shelly Duncan within. Do a Buck Showalter. It might be the right manager, right time. Yeah, so I don't know. I think Pereira is gonna be fine. He just needs the time to learn to, because the a major league slider or off speed pitch ain't nothing like a double A or triple A off speed pitch, bro. These guys are. There's a reason why they get paid millions of dollars to throw a baseball.
yep,
Some of these guys are really nasty. That tunneling thing is real deal.
yeah. So Friday is September 1st.
Yep.
Rosters expand. I believe it's only 2 more spots. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it expands to 28.
Yeah, we're at 26 right now. You would probably assume that they pick 1 pitcher, 1 hitter. I don't know. I'm not in charge, but who do you think gets a call on Friday?
I honestly think it would be Wells and Beater. There's talks about Austin Wells being able to play first base. And which this is what frustrates me about how stupid the Yankees are. Because if you knew that you want Austin Wells to come up here and potentially platoon at first base with DJ or Jake Bowers or whoever the platoon situation at first is, why the fuck is he still catching this whole week? He could have easily gotten some stress-free reps at first, getting used to it, understanding all the offensive defensive positioning that a first baseman needs to have, and then you could have made this transition seamless where Wells could have caught a game or two to spell Rorvet, because Rorvet's really not hitting. But you don't want to disrupt the pitching rotation and stuff like that, so you're gonna keep Rorvet and Higgy doing the bulk of it, and this is why Wells would be your DH slash first baseman for the rest of the season. Why the hell is he not there? And I think it would be Beater. I don't think they're gonna bring up Dominguez just yet. I think Dominguez has to have maybe another week or two. I think when the season's over in AAA, which is I think September 14th or 15th, that's when we see Dominguez.
Mm,
I think
that
yeah,
yeah.
they'll
Mhm.
go through the playoffs, and because they're most likely going to make the playoffs, they'll probably go through their championship run. I think both Somerset and the Royal Riders are both going to win a championship in the minor leagues this year, and then you'll see Dominguez up here for the last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, I'll take that. And yeah, I don't think he gets the call so quickly. It might be a little bit of a rush. There's really no reason to rush him.
Nah,
Uh,
we have enough outfielders now. With now you have Pereira or your everyday left fielder. You don't have to platoon IKF out there and Oswaldo Cabrera out there. You can actually have a left fielder there. You have Harrison Bader, your everyday center fielder. Judge looks like he's at least 90% with his toe right now. So he's probably your everyday right fielder. And Wells will platoon with Stanton because Stanton apparently can't hit right-handers. So that'll probably be your platoon DH. And then when DJ and Bowers are not playing first, he'll probably play first base.
yeah, I like what you said about Wells. Should have got reps at first base earlier.
It's like a
And
no-brainer.
I agree with not wanting him to throw him in with all these new pitchers. Only thing is, you really want him to stick at catcher just because they're coming up with like the auto ump, so you don't really have to worry about framing. And if he can hit as a catcher, the value compared to him hitting at first base is huge. But we'll see where this goes.
I just think the Yankees have better catching options now. I think Wells digressed in his defensive abilities this season, which was disappointing. For he regressed, not digressed. Regress is not a word. Regressed in his catching ability this season, and it caught people off guard and it was disappointing. And then now with the emergence of some of these younger guys, I think Wells just might not be the catcher of the future. He might be the catcher of now because I think they're gonna move on from Higgy. I think they're gonna move on for Trevino because just that's an easy way to get a couple more lefties in the lineup.
Hmm.
Just by getting rid of those two guys and potentially platooning Rortvet and Wells. But I think long term, you're probably gonna have better options behind the plate. I forgot their names, but Ben Rice is one of them, and there's another kid. That's a switch.
Ramirez?
Yeah, I think it's Ramirez. He's a switch hitter.
I don't
So
know if Ramirez is, but yeah, there's a bunch of catching depth down there.
yeah,
I
so
don't
there's a
know if
couple better options.
Rice. I don't know if Rice sticks at catcher because he's been playing a decent amount of first base.
Yeah, he's another one that they're talking about potential IKF replacement in a year or two, probably 2024,
IKF
25.
replacement,
Yeah, because he plays catcher, first base, and they thinking if they can move him to the outfield too.
but he can
They're
hit.
yeah, that's where they're thinking they can make him a platoon guy where he could play the outfield, first base, and catch. Stupid.
You don't need to a platoon of lefty. Like there's so many righty pitchers.
It's just dumb. Some of the shit the Yankees are thinking.
Figure it out,
I
man.
get it. You have to be flexible to crack a MLB roster nowadays. But whatever happened to drafting somebody at a position, letting them come up in the organization as in the position and having them play that position? Like they've only
I
been
don't
doing
know.
it for fucking 20 years of their life, playing this one position. Why are we gonna go ahead and just fuck that up and say, hey, go to the outfield, kid? I know you're a catcher, but fuck it.
Just catch the damn ball, man. Catch the ball and throw the ball.
Last
Really,
topic of the day before I let you go. Benches cleared twice in the eighth inning, bottom of the eighth in last night's game. There was some interesting back and forth between the Yankees players and the Rays players in the post game comments. Uh, you know, Clay, not Clay, Ian Hamilton saying he wish he had we had another game against these guys. If they have a problem, they could come over here and see us. Uh, you had guys in the Rays saying, "Well, this is the last place team. Like, what are we worried about them for?" So some shade being thrown back and forth. What is your thoughts on the whole situation?
I mean, both of those comments by both those guys are valid.
Yep.
Um, you know, I don't know who's picking fights. I did see a couple guys got hit, so you got to stick up for your guys. I mean, the Yankees used to be a little bit more threatening with like Chapman,
Mm-hmm.
Boyd, a couple of the bigger guys kind of lost some of that firepower. Um, don't really want them to get in a fight. Stanton will probably pull a hamstring. Judge will get his toe stepped on.
Yep.
Um, yeah, let's calm down, boys. You're in last place, and yeah, rivalry it's a little more fiery when the teams are good, both teams.
Yeah. It was just funny. Twitter is fucking hilarious. Oh, excuse me. X is fucking hilarious. Yeah, I'm gonna be messing that up for the rest of my life. I'm so used to Twitter. Twitter's been around for what, 20, almost 20 years now, 15 years. It's like
I
how you
don't
change
know.
the name, man.
I still type in twitter.com and it still pops up.
Yeah, they did because they know it's gonna take a long time for people to stop saying Twitter and say X. But yeah, a lot of people on X was funny as hell. Just the Yankees are this fake tough team. Um, you know, they only talk crap when the game is over. To be honest, Paredes got hit in the head, so that was scary, and I completely understand the Rays being upset. Rosarina seems to get hit all the time by the Yankees, so I get why he's upset. Um, I just I just find it funny. The yes booth trying to make it like, okay, maybe this could be what sparked them, because you think about the what was it, the 96 team or 98 team. They started the season really really rough, and then they had that 10-minute brawl with the Mariners.
It's a little late for that.
Yeah, but it was such early in the season, and then they went on that tear. It's history. They went on this historic run in '98, but that's really what spark plugged their team. That's their season. But they try to, I guess they're trying to make this some spin some shit, but
They always do that.
it's just funny. Like, this team doesn't show. They didn't even show fight then. No one was. I'm like, this team. They gave up. Like, they're not even willing to fucking fight. Like, what's going on? I want to see some punches.
You see
Like,
Severino go flying out of the dugout.
yeah, like that. That's why I love Sevy. Sevy's a very hard. He's a hothead Dominican. Uh, I appreciate it.
You
But
should have seen him come off the mound. He did his little like
yeah, and it's
crazy
good.
stuff.
It's good to see him. Like, he's finally hyped. He was wearing it when he was bad, and he can tell in his face that he didn't understand what the heck was going on. Like, I don't understand why I'm getting hit. Like, I guess you see the video and you see it throwing pitches right down the middle, but I'm sure when he was releasing the baseball, it didn't feel like he was throwing it right down the middle. But yeah, guys, we got rid of the game because everything Aaron Boone does to justify it against everything Aaron Boone does. I don't think either one of us can justify this shit anymore. So we're gonna end here. Little short of a show. Try to keep it a little bit more condensed. Get you guys to engage a little bit more with the content. To watch it to the end. So if you made it this far, you are a goat. I want to thank you
I got
guys.
Before we end, I got
Mhm.
two questions for you.
Okay.
I want you to predict who's going to win the World Series,
Oh
and
shit.
I want you to tell me who you want to win the World Series. Like, who's your favorite team going into the playoffs?
So I would honestly like to see. This is my ideal scenario. I would like to see Seattle come all the way back and win a World Series to then sign Shohei Ohtani. Um,
Ooh,
but I don't think that's gonna happen. I just want to check one thing real quick. Um,
my Orioles are 82 and 49. Holy cow! I'll tell you right now, Orioles are my root for the Orioles going in. That's the only way
so
I dislike Rutschman.
I think it will come down. I think it will come down to Texas and Atlanta. World Series. Atlanta's gonna win in 6.
Mm, yeah, it's a pretty decent prediction. I'll uh, I'll leave mine for when we get closer to it. I'll agree with yours for now. That it just seems kind of like a boring World Series to me. Just the teams. but I mean, probably the two best teams. But
I'm picking the two best offensive teams, pitting them against each other.
all right.
I think
So
Texas is the best of AL. Debatable. I honestly think Texas is probably the best offensive team this season. I think Houston, if they're in full force, is probably the best offensive team. But and then of course you know about Atlanta. Atlanta's a beast.
yeah, they're crazy. All right, fellas. Well, thanks for hanging in here with us.
If you
We'll
enjoyed
talk
the
to you next.
content, please don't leave without liking, commenting, leave a comment on who you think is going to be in the World Series this season, and we'll keep tabs to see who's right. Maybe we'll give something away to somebody that predicts a correct prediction for the World Series. Until then, everyone, thank you for another great episode, Tyler. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Every judge, every